No,
I can't
I'm
wait to go
so
and
keen
collect
for
all
it.
those bananas and put the ass in potassium. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It'll be a good
100%.
time for all. Hello and welcome to the Press Start podcast, Press Start Australia's weekly video game discussion podcast. I'm your host, Ewan, joined today by my fellow gamers and co-hosts, James.
Hello.
And Shannon.
Hello.
On the show today, we're going to be talking about Donkey Kong Bananza, Resident Evil Requiem, and PlayStation first-party games coming to PlayStation Plus. But first, James, as I divulged a little bit before we started the show, I am really addicted to Death Stranding, and I'm regretting not playing more of the first. I don't know why it didn't get its hooks in me the same way that Death Stranding 2 has. Are you hearing much of the same from other people, or... Is this my own stupid fault?
I surround myself with the right people. Nah, but I did say this. I think at the preview, like I said, I do feel like this game will make itself endear itself to you quicker than the first Death Stranding, right? So I guess that's confirmation. If it can win Ewan over, it can win anyone over, right?
Yeah, I don't like. I just feel like the story kind of moves with a bit more kind of pace as well.
Yeah, the pacing is definitely like way better.
Yeah, and maybe it is in fact, like as we talked about in your review last week, kind of a consequence of the world sort of being established, and so it's spending less of its time like explaining the world and the setup and just kind of getting onto the action a little bit quicker. I did benefit, I think, from like watching a few explanatory videos of the first game first. And then I watched I went through the recap in the game, which isn't a video. It's like a gallery of things that you kind of scroll through. There's like 17 slides, I think, of like the pivotal events from the first game. And it's nice because it leaves some kind of gaps that I was like, oh, okay, I'd like to go back into the first game and like experience that. But then kind of in the context of the rest of the story, you start filling in the gaps along the way. But yeah, without spoiling anything, like I think the first act is really strong and kind of like gets its hooks in you quite well. So yeah, I'm well on my way. Well, I'm in Australia now, for those that have played and kind of know how that then tracks. I'm in Australia and have like, I think made it to my 4th kind of base in Australia.
The big one in West Australia?
No, that's the next one I'm to get to. I've got the order to deliver there now.
Yeah, okay. You'll recognise her.
Recognize?
It was like the first
the
cameo
city
that I recognised. No, like the person who's running.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't recognized anyone besides like Tarman and George Miller as of yet. But I like how I'm kind of like quite eager to invest in the lone commander it is, because I did some research and turns out if you like get up to 5 stars in him, you get the silent sniper rifle. And right now with the kind of stealth situations that I've been in, I'd like really like that silent sniper rifle. So I have been tempted to just kind of like grind my way through his missions. It would really help if people built some roads around there though. So if they want to help me kind of get the chiral crystals and the ceramics that I need to help build the roads around there, that'd be great.
I mean, are you contributing at all?
I am. I nearly completed one of the nodes, like, by myself.
One?
There's a lot to go.
Wow. All take, it seems, Ewan.
This was why I was nearly late to the podcast. I was like, can I go and complete this node?
I contracted with you. I don't know, have you said anything of mine in your game yet?
No.
Oh, if you like it, and you go into the Strand service, you can contract with me as well, and then it makes you more likely to see my things. And I did a lot of roads, so it might be more helpful.
Can people like destroy your stuff, like in?
Would that mean
your
that you
world?
would play the game?
Well, yeah, I'll just come and wreck Ewan's bridges.
I know you can dismantle ladders, but I thought they were only your own.
I like crashed my car through someone's ladder, not on purpose, like a few days ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means it's gone for that person now, because I feel a bit bad then. But ladders are so like chill, so it doesn't matter. Like you can make another one.
And without like harping on about it, like I feel like I'm the guy that's just discovered something that, you know, everyone already knew was pretty great. I'm very late to the party, but I do just like love the puzzle that is kind of navigating the landscape and all the route planning. Like it's all the best bits of like my teenage orienteering like wrapped up into a game.
I think it's so simple. Like it is definitely greater than the sum of its parts. The gameplay loop is like incredibly simple, but there is something so like addictive about it. And then I feel like it's enough like actions and action moments, like kind of you encounter bandits and you have to kind of stealth through it or go all guns blazing, whatever kind of takes your fancy. But yeah, I'm kind of dreading those altercations. I much rather a nice kind of tranquil A to B delivering my package. The first game was like that. I definitely feel like you dread that more. Are you talking about humans? Sorry, Ewan, or like BTs?
Yeah. Well, the BTs I definitely hate more. They're scary, man.
Yeah, they're spooky.
Particularly like around Lone Commando, where I'm spending a bit of my time at the moment. There's a bunch of BTs up there. Yeah, they get really close to the base at times too. I'm like, okay,
so that's
not a fan.
Just to kill them, like to send them back, chuck some grenades at them, and
yeah. Well, yeah, I got a little bit cocky doing that. They actually take a few more grenades and bullets than I thought they did. But yeah, I reckon that's how I'm going to do the Lone Commando stuff. Just stock up on munitions and go after those. Go after them that way. Anyhow, I guess we should talk about some other games and not just Death Stranding 2 all podcast again. Shannon, you recently got the opportunity to play some more Donkey Kong Bananza at a recent preview event. Was it much the same or what you got to experience when you were in New York?
My third time, Ewan, believe it or not.
Your third time? Holy smokes. Oh, at the Melbourne event too, right? You got to play it there as well.
So, to be honest, the New York event, I like watching back the footage from that. I don't remember anything from that just because of the nature of it, and it was right at the end of the day.
Jet lagged
I had no idea what I was doing. It was a very overwhelming experience. But then Melbourne, because I'd played it, I kind of just like looked for new things to do, and that was a really cool experience with how different it was. And this was like 4 hours with the game. And the first like hour was the same as what I'd done, but I guess it was different because you were trying to unlock Pauline. And then once you got Pauline, you got to do that world with Pauline, and the first Bananza power up. So it was kind of cool to actually see that world in a different way. Like if you didn't play the demo before launch, I don't know if you'll ever get to play that version of the game where Pauline didn't exist in that world. So it was kind of cool to see how that changed it up. But I'm very... it was still a little bit of a weird demo. Like they had us sort of jumping into different areas. So I didn't really get a sense of progression across the 3 worlds that I got to play because it was just loading up different saves. So I'm still a little bit unsure to like the final flow of the game, but definitely way more sold. It actually seemed to be running a lot smoother. Again, I don't know if anyone's ever played it on handheld, so I don't know if that's going to be a different story, but it looks absolutely stunning. Like there's so much happening on screen at all times, and it dropped frame rates a few times, but nothing too crazy, and it's 60 most of the time. But yeah, I say in my preview, this is like DK's moment. Like it's like the Breath of the Wild treatment, not in design, but I guess just like in terms of creating a modern game with like this 30-year-old character. And I think a lot of people are going to love it for sure.
You say like more kind of modern game, but you showed me some footage of it as well. There's kind of like 2D sections as well as 3D as well. Can you explain to us like how the game's structured?
Yeah, so each world is called a layer. So if you think of like Odyssey and that being planets, it's very similar to that, but there's like lots more different areas that you're unlocking. So the first world, you're playing with water levels to sort of unlock new areas and new pipes. The second world, you're doing mine carts to get from, I guess, section to section. And the third, there's like poison surrounding you and you're using like little seeds on wood to create new entries. But yeah, I guess it's a mix of Odyssey and Breath of the Wild because I guess you do have like lots of challenge rooms which feel like separate to the level. In terms of how they're structured, and like so you're looking for like these shrine-like areas that can be like 2D side-scrolling levels. They can be like beat 'em up levels. They can be like hard platforming areas. So there's a lot of variety there, and like it was really fun just going around and finding those for sure.
We made a lot of comparisons, kind of seeing it to Mario Odyssey. Do you think it's likely to be that sort of level of quality as well? Is it like fair to expect that?
I think so. I went back and played maybe an hour of Odyssey on the weekend just to kind of have a comparison. Like there are similarities in like art style and some of the platforming stuff. I actually think there's a lot more to do in these worlds. I think there's going to be less worlds, like maybe 5 to 7 as opposed to like 15 plus in Odyssey, but I think they're more dense and there's a lot more things to do in each of them. And I guess coming away from my other two previews, I was a little bit worried it would be repetitive just with the destructiveness, but I guess the power-ups that you get in the ostrich, zebra, which I didn't get to play, and the Bonanza Kong with his thick booty, which I have to get a mention in for. I think that's going to really bring variety. And again, I can't speak to progression, but I get the sense there's like a Metroidvania element to it in like as you unlock more of these Bonanza power-ups, you can go back to some of the other earlier areas and access new areas that you couldn't before. Cool. Again, that's kind of just my thinking in the sense because you can just take them with you as you go through the game. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game from Nintendo, and I think it's going to really put Donkey Kong on a new plane for sure.
If we just go back a second, what does the ostrich egg do that you mentioned?
So again, I don't really know why this is the thing, but Donkey Kong can transform. So the second power-up that I got to play is an ostrich, which he can flutter. So like you can glide down and then you can unlock different power-ups. So like there's a bomb egg power-up. I didn't really get to look at some of the other ones, but yeah, just weird stuff like that.
Some of the traits of like another animal, basically.
Well, yeah,
right.
Literally that. And I don't know why Donkey Kong would become an ostrich, like literally like a massive ostrich, but that's the kind of shit and I guess you think about that with Odyssey, right? Like why is Mario becoming like a T-Rex?
Yeah.
Like why does that happen? But you don't really question it when you're doing it.
I think with
and
DK,
it feels good.
Though, like in the country games, you do transform to animals in those. So like it's not out of left field.
And you
entirely.
Used to ride like an ostrich and stuff, right? Like
ride
there's always
that,
been that animal kingdom.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like it's weird, and the music is like very Splatoon-like. It's very just weird compared to everything else Donkey Kong that we've seen. But I like it. It doesn't hold back any punches, and it's just insane.
Just sounds goofy and fun. I feel like we do need to give his ass a little bit more attention as well. What did you make of the kind of character model? It's been a bit of a talking point, I guess, coming into this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why his ass is that fat. Like, so when you're riding the minecart, and I am going to do a video just on his ass and all the different angles that I took.
Of course.
Like, his ass literally sits on top of the minecart. And, like, I don't understand why that needs to happen.
Oh, like it kind of like protrudes up the top.
Yeah, like it can't fit.
I don't know why
so
I made
it has
this
to sit
notion.
on top. Well, that's literally how it is. And it has like its own physics engine. Like when you're climbing and stuff, like it's jiggling all over the place. Like one cheek is here and one's like, it's just incredible.
Attention to detail. I respect it.
Yeah, and I'm keen to see some of the other ones that I'm sure will be revealed and see if they've also got fat asses. The ostrich you can't see because it's covered by a tail, but I'm sure under that tail is equally a fat ass. Well, now my webcam is just it's getting too excited.
Your webcam's really interested. It's zooming in.
Yeah, no, I'm keen for it. I guess my one issue, but my one worry, and I had. Odyssey does the same thing. When you go behind, like, into a wall or something, like, it does this weird thing where your character kind of disappears. But I think it's more prominent here because you're literally, like, digging down or digging into things constantly. So you just lose your character. So I do think the camera could be an issue for some people. But, yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a huge moment for Nintendo and a system seller at that.
So, like, how much does the digging kind of play a role, and how exactly does that all work?
It's less about dig. So the thing, I was worried it'd get repetitive or just be really like vanity. But the good thing is like every boss has destructible elements. So like one of the bosses you have to like bash from the bottom to get to the top. Another one has like things around him and you're in a minecart like spinning around him and you have to crush elements. Like some of the obstacles in game, like there's lasers that you have to dig under, or like thorns that you have to bash. So like it's a big part of the game, but like it's less about just like smashing things, like that I guess is all you were doing in the first few demos, and like they've really used it as a game design element. And then obviously there's just things hidden everywhere, so like bananas, fossils, maps. So there's good incentive to dig, and
right.
everything
but you're not
stays
spending
the same.
your
That's
entire
the cool
life underground. Yeah. just kind of using it here and there to kind of help traverse the level?
Essentially, I think it's like how much do you want to explore and find everything versus just like get to what you need to do, right? But I think we were touching on it in what the wiki last week that DK64 had the most collectibles of any game. I think this is going to come close to that just from what I've seen and like how much is there. So yes, and like it's a core part of the game, but you don't have to like just dig down or dig up or dig to your heart's content. Like there is purpose there. Yeah. But I will say like I'm impressed, even though like this is running on the Switch 2 exclusively, like the amount that's just happening at all times. Like I am genuinely surprised that it can run at 4K how it does and look this good.
Based on my line of questioning so far, you might be guessing this would be my first Donkey Kong game, and you'd be correct. I only really dabbled a little bit in Donkey Kong Country, too much to James's disappointment. Do you think it's like a good kind of first timers Donkey Kong game? Like someone could just jump in without much understanding the character and enjoy it?
100%. I think James and I were talking earlier because the big thing about this is like are the Kremlins and King K. Rool going to feature? It's like as far as we know, they don't, and they've only been in the Rare games and haven't been around for ages. But I think like you can play this game with nothing else. Like it's meant to be the origin story of both DK and Pauline potentially. So it's a great point to start.
I don't think
James, you might want to
ever mattered though. Like I don't know. Like if you play this,
it's like Mario, right?
Yeah, like they're all different. So I think this looks like it'd be closer to DK64. Hopefully not too close. But yeah, I think did you get to?
This is definitely the most story that's been in a DK game, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. DK64. It's always the same. Like they steal bananas and Donkey Kong wants them back. So it's like,
why would you?
What more? I mean, Pauline.
You don't get an ass like that by not eating bananas.
I guess. Yeah. Like maybe Pauline makes it a bit more interesting now having her there, and she's obviously got like ties to DK from back in the day.
And the Odyssey team as well. Like the fact that we assume that they did this, and like and Pauline was in Odyssey. Like it could very much tie into that game.
Did you do any 2D stuff?
Yeah, 2 of the levels I did, both challenge levels. So one was like a bonus level, like the classic DK levels where you were just collecting things and bouncing around. Again, you could use your power-ups in that, so I was using the ostrich to float around.
Was that tight?
And the other one was... It was, yeah. It felt like a 2D DK game, but I guess with the modern elements. And then the other one was more traditional, so barrels... thorns, spikes, and a mix of platforming. But again, still using the destructible elements, all the different elements, sand, you needing to pick up rocks and smash through things. And challenging. I will say the game is super challenging. Like it's very unforgiving in a good way. And DK games have always been like that. So I like that element.
Nice. I realize
if you liked Odyssey, you're going to like this, I think. And I really... do think it's gonna have the potential to be even better than Odyssey, and like it just feels like a tighter experience, and like again where we can pretty much confidently say it is that team. I think they learnt a lot from Odyssey and also learnt a lot from games like Breath of the Wild and other Nintendo games.
And
like
they haven't officially said who's making the game.
They never do for any of their games.
They never do. It's Nintendo, so it's going to be a good team regardless. But I feel like we can say it's the Odyssey team.
And it's out so soon as well, right? Like it's next week?
It is.
As of time of recording?
I think still 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. What's the date again? Remind me.
I think it's July.
I had 7th of July in my head, but that's...
17th, I think.
17th. Okay. I think. Right. Good stuff. I'm ready for another Switch game. I think the timing is kind of right.
Yeah.
Found enough to kind of keep me going on the Switch, but ready for this.
I will say as well that there's second player stuff in it, like another player can control Pauline and like throw words out and like copy elements, and like you can use mouse controls or like any type of Joy-Con controls. And
does the camera feature in any way? Not that I expected it to, but I guess like being a new feature wouldn't surprise me if they'd found a way to integrate it somehow.
I mean, I didn't see it. Maybe you can just become DK's ass and just pan your face onto it. Yeah, true. I'm surprised it doesn't.
I can't wait to go collect all those bananas and put the ass in potassium. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'll be 100%. A good time for all. James, let's change gears now, though, and talk about Capcom, who shared a video to their YouTube channel sharing some more details about Resident Evil Requiem and some brief snippets of gameplay as well. I'm curious, with you being the biggest Resident Evil fan I know, were there any kind of juicy details that you picked out from this video, if any?
No. I thought... I've just realized I'm wearing the wrong shirt today, but that's
wearing
okay.
a Silent Hill shirt.
Silent
yeah,
Hill.
I
How
did notice
embarrassing.
that.
Yeah, it was not a choice. It was literally just what was on my floor.
This is why I send you the show notes ahead of time, so you can dress accordingly.
Which I absolutely read, but that had nothing to do with what laundry was done and wasn't done. Yeah, this is... I think they just showed the footage that they showed everyone, so you kind of already had, and I guess you already had an idea
like the footage that they showed at the preview events, right?
At Summer Games Fest, yeah, like behind closed doors. Nothing like super new to me. What I do find interesting, this is from a lore perspective, the hospital that Grace is waking up in is in a town that's like on the outskirts of Raccoon City. Right. There's definitely like some... I like that they're going into that like kind of deep cut lore that only people like me would notice, but then it doesn't matter if you don't elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels consistent. So I love that. I've got to be honest though, I'm not convinced about this whole pick your own perspective thing, because I'm sure Capcom knows
between like the third and first person.
So the big thing I guess from this reveal and from all of the news has been that you can play the game in first or third person. And I understand why they've done that, because some people are very like defensive of playing the game third or first person. Yeah. I just feel like, I don't know if you guys agree or not, but I feel like there are a lot of design decisions made in terms of like, say, planning like a scare that is very dependent on like where the player is looking or what the player can see. Well,
that's true,
moment, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play the other games, like when they added the third person modes?
I played Village in like on flat screen first person, VR first person, and third person. Third person was the weakest, but that was added afterwards. So like I'm sure there was some kind of concession that had to be made to get that to work. That being said, apparently the game does say to you what is recommended at any given moment. So I don't know if that means... Yeah, so like there might be like, if you want to switch to third person, we're like, no, but like first person is recommended for this part. So yeah. Like,
see, that's almost weirder to me, because like I don't really want...
I think it's just... Honestly,
like switch modes.
I just think it's something like to placate annoying fans, because people are so like vocal about not liking first person for like 7 and 8. Even though, in my opinion, 7 and 8 is like the first time I've been actually properly scared, like from a Resident Evil game. Like I've always loved Resident Evil, but I never have been as scared as I was playing 7 or 8. And I think a lot of that is the immersion.
First person just immerses you that little bit more, I think. Like as soon as it's third person, there feels like there's just a degree of separation between you and the character. Where you, like it's quite literal, but when you're at first person, you feel like you're occupying their shoes.
I agree, but I think it worked for Ethan because he was a fresh character, and I think it'll work for Grace in a similar way too. Although I do think Grace will probably talk a bit more than Ethan does. I can understand why fans would feel this way about, say, like playing as Chris or Leon or something like that. And I get that, and I think maybe that is perhaps why there's two perspectives available here.
I mean, I was terrified playing the Silent Hill 2 remake, and that was all third person. I was literally
about to say, like, that game, the sound is... So you can do so much with sound design in a game, and I think Silent Hill 2 remake is a really good example of that. And I'm sure looking at, like, you only get... They've done a really good job of not just blowing their load and showing that monster, like clearly. And that looks pretty fucking scary. And I really... That kind of excites me. But then on the other side of that, I, like, also don't just want Alien Isolation again with in a Resident Evil setting. Like, I've had... Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that is a lot of what people have been comparing it to. So... Yeah,
I mean, they kind of pioneered that in many ways, though, right? Like the whole kind of
not in the same way
style
that
gameplay.
Isolation did. I don't feel, because apparently the AI on this monster, and I'm assuming this is just one part of the game, right? Like I know they've kind of hyper focused on it, but this monster apparently there's like a weird little thing you can do with it gameplay wise that no one's allowed to talk about yet.
Okay.
So I'm intrigued to know what that is. But apparently the AI is quite good, and very different to anything they've ever done before. So I think that is cool because the stalkers in the Resident Evil games, you can kind of cheese them. Like, there's definitely ways, you know what I mean? Just the way that they move, or you know. But yeah, I think it'll be fine. But
I thought it was interesting the comment they made about opting not to use Leon because they thought it just wasn't going to be as scary with him, that people like wouldn't expect him to get frightened at a bucket falling. So they wanted this kind of fresh character that was, I guess, previously not exposed to the horrors of a Resident Evil world.
I think they're being very careful with their words there. I'm still convinced you play as him. I just think that, I mean, the press release says, right, like it's spine-chilling horror and then like fast-paced action or something, and I just can't see. I don't know. I think you don't go back to Raccoon City and not bring those people back, right?
Yeah,
like it doesn't make any sense to me. Even if it's like maybe how Chris shows up in Village, he just gunned down the place at the end. I don't know.
I thought it was interesting as well. They talked about like Requiem and like the meaning of the words kind of being like this sort of farewell, right? Am I remembering that correctly? It was like a farewell. And the fact that like it's obviously the 30th anniversary, it's like this is set 30 years after the destruction of Raccoon City. Like it kind of feels a little meta in that regard, that this is actually going to be more of like a broader sort of farewell to this story. Like it wouldn't surprise me at all if they kind of reset the Resident Evil universe after this game, which I don't know like if that's the general consensus, if they've
maybe
said
Raccoon City will blow up again and all the OGs will just die and that's it.
Maybe. But I feel like that's a lot of people are very into the characters.
The Leon thing, it's like, don't even mention it if he's playable. I don't know why they've been annoying so far for this whole...
But they want to leave some surprises. I mean, look what they did at the Summer Game Fest. They're like, we're going to talk... No, we're not. We're just here to promote a Steam sale.
Why
here's
even...
the trailer.
Just don't mention Leon, period.
Yeah.
I think back in the day,
this is what
with RE7, remember Chris was like the big surprise at the end? Like, no one knew he was in it at all. I think maybe they're trying to have that again.
I think
but
that's
you don't.
Exactly
I just feel like you don't do that by like doing that. But anyway,
I agree,
just don't talk about him at all.
Well,
just keep it properly
people
secretive.
are also just non-stop talking about that and arguing about it now. So I feel like it's making people talk about it.
If people are suspecting anyway, try and quash it.
I don't believe it's just you're playing as Grace and that's it. Like I think that they are. I mean, I've said from the beginning I think it was Leon and Jill, but now I think it probably is just Leon. But maybe it's all of them, like Smash Bros.
Yeah, they all make an appearance of some kind. Yeah, and if it truly is like a farewell,
so maybe it was a
that was hideous.
A reverse
Looking
situation.
At that, I was like shocked that they would even consider that. Like that was genuinely like, who wants this still? Like you've tried it twice and you didn't do it right, so just give it up. So I'm glad. I feel like it's in the right hands. They're very aware of what people do and don't want, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. February can't come soon enough. One last news topic I did want to get to today, though, was PlayStation's Vice President of Global Services, Nick Maguire, confirming in a recent interview with GameFile that they had no intention of bringing first-party PlayStation games to PlayStation Plus service, kind of matching the same sort of deal that Xbox Game Pass offers. He added that a handful of indie titles with first-party releases arriving to the games library much later was working well for them, and they didn't sort of feel the need to do anything different. Shannon, do you think that this might ever change, and should they make some exceptions to this rule and bring the occasional first-party game to the service kind of day and date?
Not for their like tentpole single-player AAA games. I think like their marathons and their cash...
Fair games?
Whatever they fair games.
Cash games.
Maybe there is something in that. Because like, why not? But yeah, I think Microsoft's kind of doing that, and I just think to start going in that direction would murky the waters between them.
Yeah.
Too much. And I don't see the benefit in doing that.
kind of sounds like they're getting enough people subscribing to the service anyhow and kind of getting the return on it that they want. I was going to say, I think it was wise that they brought FBC Firebreak to, I think it was just Extra and Deluxe. You obviously didn't get it on Essential.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was wise to do that. I know a couple of people that played it that probably wouldn't have if it weren't included in their
it's also
already.
just like, why, if people are subscribing and they've got data that people are sort of upgrading to those tiers already, like why do that? Like it'd probably be another tier.
And still buying the new release games as well. Yeah. Not waiting for those.
Yeah. I don't see it. I get why they keep getting asked that question because it is just the way we live now, like across streaming services and literally everything else. But for Nintendo and PlayStation, like, they're big 5 or 6 franchises that are keeping their entire software business afloat. Like, why would you mess with that unless you absolutely had to?
James, you're obviously kind of reaping the benefits of the Xbox offering, given it's your primary platform. Would you like to see PlayStation sort of follow suit, or do you agree with Shannon?
I haven't played my Xbox for like almost 2 months, but...
Oh, really? Ooh.
But it's because Death Stranding is free, obviously.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
I play all platforms, Ewan, is what I'm trying to get at there. I don't see any reason PlayStation has to do this, right? Like, I feel like everybody... I'm not going to be that person, but like, who says Xbox people don't buy games, but like, even the Xbox games that went up on PlayStation were like top sellers on the PlayStation when they did, right? And they didn't really make as much of a splash on Xbox. So, yeah, I don't think they need to. I think Game Pass was always born out of Microsoft being last, and I think it did great work in kind of clawing back some goodwill for gamers. But yeah, I don't know. I think PlayStation doesn't need to, so they won't. And same with Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo has that. There's a whole other thing, I guess, can of worms you could open with their old games. Like, I feel like I would love to be able to just buy those and just play them, right? But yeah, I don't know. Yes, I think PlayStation.
It's all
doesn't need to do it, so why would they? I think the only other time...
And it's like, you can't just do it every now and then either, because then people expect it, and then
you don't want it to be
and the
like...
same with PC. I think they're very careful about when they bring games to PC.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, this one's day one, but then this one isn't, and then like, it just becomes a little bit more confusing, and like, why do people subscribe if it's like, say, only the dud games? Well, not the dud games, like... Games like games like, say, like Returnal, where like they don't sell. Like, that's one of my favorite games on the PS5, but it doesn't sell as much as, say, like Spider-Man or Last of Us. So yeah, I don't.
Maybe it'd be good if they kind of like use their discretion as to like, it's not necessarily 12 or 24 months, but it's like a little bit variable as to like how soon after a launch a game gets moved onto it. So even that Returnal kind of maybe comes on a little bit sooner or something. That wouldn't be
like
such
Platinum, like the back in the day, a game sold a certain amount and it went platinum, and then the actual game would drop its recommended retail price. Nintendo Selects, I think, was something similar. Xbox Classics. I think if they did something like that, maybe. But like,
I think that's kind of essentially what it is. Like, they were calling it a launch the Classics catalog as well, right? Like that's kind of the thinking.
Yeah.
I do miss the days where you had like, Resogun being available in the service. And I think when Rocket League first came out, that was a PlayStation Plus exclusive as well. And, maybe those games are a little bit more on the indie side of things, especially at the time, than we would think their PlayStation first party studios are. But I wouldn't mind the kind of occasional thing like that. Maybe that is their live service games. Perhaps like a stronger live service rollout or like strategy would have been, let's aim to put a new live service game out like once a year or like every 2 years, and kind of offer it free to our subscription base, and just kind of like move them from one live service to the next, and like drop the other as the kind of player base starts to fall off, rather than kind of do what they've done. Like, it would have been, we'd had Helldivers, Concord, and Marathon, like, in the space of 12 months, thereabouts, right? Maybe a little bit. Maybe Helldivers came out early last year. But even a year and 2 years, having 3 live service games come out, like they were always going to cannibalize each other to some extent. I would have thought. So maybe just kind of spreading them out and offering them free would have been wise.
Yeah, it's a hard one, right, as well, because then I guess Helldivers probably made them so much money, and like that's why they've based their whole model on that. So it's tricky. I don't know if there's any like one size fits all in the industry anymore. Like, so I don't. Maybe they will start playing with it more and like putting certain things on. It's also like then they remove stuff like the second they know they're remastering it or whatever as well. So they're clearly just all about making as much money as possible. Which company is it at this point?
Yeah, can't hold it too much against them, I guess.
I just want bloody PS3 games here. Like, let's just start there in Australia, and the stupid Portal Cloud streaming. Like, let's just bring the good tier here, and we'll be happy for at least a day.
That's true. We don't nearly have it as good as they have it elsewhere with those extra games available. I'm still on the essential option. I've not felt so inclined to upgrade to extra or deluxe at all. I think I did briefly just to like maybe play a game that I wanted to play that was like, well, I could upgrade for $12 for the remainder of my contract period or spend $40 in the game. I might just upgrade. But then I was like, I finished that. I was like, nothing else really for me. I'll go back down.
Yeah, even I wonder, like, I know we're in a privileged position, but like if people actually like play all the essential games and stuff every month, or they just have it for online, like I'd like to know the stats on that.
Yeah, there have been some good ones in fairness that have come out very recently. Yeah, maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh. I do have a rapid fire question. Speaking of games leaving services, Netflix is delisting a bunch of games available as part of their service, in case you had forgotten that existed, including Braid, Hades, Katana Zero, and Monument Valley, to name a few. James, have you ever used Netflix's game service?
No. This is weird to me because it's like, if a game leaves Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, it's still there to buy somewhere and like play. But now people have done all these Netflix ports, and now they're just gone. Like it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was playing Hades actually, like on my iPad, I think, via way of my Netflix subscription, and it's kind of just like gives you like the license to kind of download the app. Like, I'm not really clear like how it works, but
so it's not like streaming.
No.
I had no idea.
It was actually quite good. It was like, just because I'm a Netflix subscriber, like I get access to games I'd otherwise have to buy off the App Store. Like, that was at least the case of using an iPhone or an iPad. I guess on a TV it probably would be streaming. But yeah, I actually quite liked the service. I feel like I might have been the only person to give it a go.
Like, I have noticed it more on my TV because they recently redesigned the TV app, and it's like front and center on that.
Yeah.
Again, I've never played it, but I'm always like, oh, there's games on Netflix. Really randomly, like Samsung now has games on the TV as well, like Pac-Man.
Oh, right.
And like, it's a really prominent like Wheel of Fortune, like just like there's like other well-known games as well. But like, yeah, gaming on TVs without a console is the new thing apparently.
Yeah. Did you ever give any of the Netflix games a go? We're probably really the wrong audience.
Like too hot, like I've been interested, but like too hot to handle it, and the weird like Netflix show games, like the Squid Game
I
stuff.
forgot those existed.
Like just so like they've tempted me, but again, it's like if I'm opening up Netflix, it's to watch something in particular these days. Like it's very rare. I'm just like, oh, I've got nothing to watch. Let me open Netflix or play a game.
Yeah. Why would you when you've got Death Stranding 2 to play?
I mean, I haven't done that either, so
maybe one day we'll be lucky enough for Netflix to make a version of our game that we play here on the podcast. What the Wiki is the Press Start podcast game show where the previous week's winner reads part of a Wikipedia page for an unknown game, and we, the contestants, must guess the game. A point is awarded for each correct guess, with the round concluding after someone's bagged themselves 2 points. As last week's winner, Shannon is in the hosting chair today. If I'm not mistaken, Shannon, you clean swept it last week. Got yourself the 3 points with the bonus. So you're now up in third. big moving day. You're up in third place now on 10 points. Brody is in second on 16. And myself and James are tied on 18 points. So regardless what happens today, we're going to have a new leader in this race, a new out and out leader. It's going to be movements. I'm praying that you've set it up for me this round.
It's an even round, I reckon. It's a good round.
Okay. Well, when you're ready, take it away. Are you ready? Did you prep the games?
I had them. Yeah. The game is a single player beat 'em up video game played from a top down perspective. The player controls an animal running through a maze while evading gun-wielding humans. Enemies can be killed with a single attack, grabbed, or used as a shield. In each level, the player must reach the goal without being killed.
Ewan.
The maze design... Yes, Ewan.
Is this Hotline Miami?
It's not Hotline Miami.
Taking a punt.
The maze design is randomized and is slightly different on each play. That is the end of paragraph. The game also features a minimalist art style, which is being compared to that of Soul Base.
What?
The game is a 2019 beat-em-up game developed by Gabe Cusillo and published by Devolver Digital. Where else do I go?
Top down. You always get the small Wikipedia pages.
Ape Out was Cusillo's second game after Foiled, which he developed and released in 2014.
Ewan, did you read the title of the game? Is it Ape Out?
Oh no! Did I read that? Did I?
Yes,
I'm dead. Bye. That's mess.
We've got to pay it, right?
You should have just not said anything. Oh, that was the end of the Wikipedia page anyway. So if no one was going to get it, no one was going to get it.
This game rewards observation amongst many other things. That's a point to Ewan, I reckon.
No, that's not a point to Ewan. That's what I get for going back to the Wiki page. Are we not giving me a point for that?
Are we not? Are we serious?
That's the host being a clown. Right? That's not fair.
Oh my god.
But that could have been like, APAT was the developer's second game, but this game was their third.
No, I'm skipping.
Well, that's why I hesitated.
Unless you thought you were going to get it.
I
didn't. I wasn't going to get it.
Neither was I.
I had no idea.
Oh, that was the one I thought you were going to get too. Now I'm nervous.
Oh no. Struck from the record. I'm going to ask Brody about this. I want some adjudication.
Oh my god. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you?
No, I'm not. That's thrown my confidence now. It's not going to happen. The player controls the destined one.
The dramatic pause makes me so nervous.
A protagonist based on a character from the classic
Ewan,
novel.
Ewan. The destined one. This is Black Myth Wukong.
It is Black Myth Wukong.
Yes.
Well done, Ewan.
It's the worst round ever.
I still can't believe. All right, I need another game.
I should have had a
You prepped two games.
No, I have another one.
He didn't prep any. He's reading off the Wikipedia page right now.
Lost. Okay, I'm going with the game that I had. Oh. The game is a 2005 platform game developed and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. The game has also been rated for release on PS4, but no announcement of its release has been made, very sadly. The lead character finds a helmet and hires the human scientist to aid him in his evil plans. James. They establish television stations protected by the freaky Monkey 5, where they plan to broadcast TV shows worldwide.
James.
Yes, James.
Doubled it.
Is it Ape Escape?
It is not Ape Escape.
Ewan.
Be very careful.
This is the worst.
Maybe I should. Is it Ape Escape 3?
It is Ape Escape 3. Well done, Ewan. Justice has been served.
And that's the bonus. Let's go. 21 points to Gryffindor.
Just my excitement for Donkey Kong is just permeating. So those are the best monkey games in existence. I can't believe it's an ape out. That's
right.
Oh my God. End the show. End scene.
Oh my goodness.
Well done, Ewan. That was a clean sweep.
That was. Up against James too. Who would have thought? The 1-to-1. He's not going to talk to me for the rest of the day now. Look at him. With that, let's bring an end to this week's episode of the Press Start podcast. Subscribe to us on Listen. Are you already messaging the chat? What's going on? With that, subscribe to us on Listener or the podcast service of your choice. Follow us at press.au and visit the sites at press.com.au. We've been joined today by Shannon.
Yes, you can follow me at Shannon Grixty on everything. That feels like a fever dream, that whole round. I can't believe I did that.
And last but not least, it was James.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Jams, ATJMZ.
I promise I'm going to go and like all the ladders and all the roads that you've built in Death Stranding 2 now to try and make this up to you.
No, it's fine.
I've been your host, Ewan. You can follow me on socials at Ewan_Roxburgh. We'll be back again next week. But until then, happy gaming.
Bye.
Bye.